A lot of speed.
He warming up
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up. Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm going to beat your ass and I'm going to beat Jaden Love ass. On my mama, I'm going to beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. He know. He laughing.
Our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the—
You know what I mean? I was misinformed. You know, you got to know what somebody's going through, man, or have gone through and where they've ended up. Now, you have to understand that. You got to understand their DNA, you know, and we as fans, we fail to realize that. We as commentators and fanboys and all that, like, we all don't do that.
Gervonta Davis expressed frustration after Jake Paul sparred with Shakur Stevenson ahead of their highly anticipated showdown. Davis stated Jake can train however he wants, but it changes nothing. Tank emphasized he'll unleash unmatched power on fight night, dominating the ring. He claimed no sparring, preparation, or flashy warm-ups will matter once they collide under the bright lights of boxing's biggest stage.
Now, don't worry about it. I don't got to say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm going to show you and him. Bet.
And it begs the question, Tank.
Nothing.
Boxing experts have pointed out the irony behind the criticism of Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Many fans and purists feel Tank's choice hurts the sport, yet others recognize the promotional value and personal gain involved. Shakur Stevenson addressed this reality, noting that even though Tank's move frustrates traditional boxing followers, he remains open to sparring Jake Paul to keep the sport relevant and strengthen his own standing. This situation highlights the ongoing balance between business, legacy, and fan expectations in today's boxing landscape.
Criticism for fighting Jake Paul, but yet at the same time, he is going to fight Jake Paul. Now, what I find interesting is how people on one hand are going to criticize it, but on the other hand, try to take advantage of it for their own profit. So Shakur Stevenson, definitely for press purposes, definitely for publicity purposes, offers to get in the training camp and spar for Jake Paul, spar Jake Paul for the Tank fight. Now, why would he be doing this? It's called copycat crap, because the last big fight that took place, which was Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, guess what happened? Jaron Ennis went and sparred Canelo Alvarez to help Canelo Alvarez prepare for Terrence Crawford. So do I think that that is coincidental? No, I do not. I think that it is trying to have your cake and eat it too. You are trying to complain and say Gervonta Davis is not a real competitive fighter, that this is a sideshow, freak show fight, but yet you want your name associated with it and you want to participate in it for your own good gain. Let me assure you that when Terrence Crawford said in an interview that he wouldn't fight Jake Paul, that's not a serious fight. And then they said, well, would you fight Jake Paul for $200 million? And he said, I'd be fighting Jake Paul.
Analysts suggest Gervonta Tank Davis is increasingly driven by financial incentives in shaping his career decisions. His rumored bout with Jake Paul has fueled debate, with critics claiming Tank prioritizes revenue streams and market value over legacy and competitive prestige. Industry experts argue that if fans want matchups against elite fighters like Shakur Stevenson or Lamont Roach, promoter Turk would need to secure a lucrative, high-revenue contract similar to blockbuster events such as Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. At this stage of his career, Davis appears more focused on maximizing earnings, long-term brand equity, and financial security rather than solely chasing competitive glory.
Look at how Tank started acting after he made $40 million with Ryan. When he make another $40+ million with Jake,
he's gonna go make $40 million fighting Jake Paul, and then he's gonna come back and fight Lamont Rowe for what? He's gonna come back and fight Shakur Stevenson for what? He's not gonna fight none of those guys.
No, the only way he fight any of them guys, Turkey gonna have to hit him with the Crawford money. Cause that's the thing. You do this for a reason, bro. Like, I get it. You want him to be competitive, but his goal is money. He made 40 with Ryan plus everything in between. Now he get this 40, 50 million plus. He don't even gotta fight no more. So now if you want him to fight Shakur, give me that Canelo money, man.
Shakur Stevenson, a respected name in the boxing industry, voiced strong disappointment after Tank Davis chose Jake Paul instead of him. Stevenson suggested Tank's decision reflects ducking behavior, which damages the sport's credibility. He stressed that real fighters embrace competition, and selecting a crossover celebrity over an elite professional reduces boxing's integrity and long-term value. Stevenson's remarks fueled debate about Tank's priorities, highlighting how financial incentives, branding strategies, media revenue, and sponsorship deals often overshadow athletic honor. This moment underscores the growing influence of money, marketing, and digital entertainment on modern boxing.
What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. He called cap on it. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it. I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A game.
Tank Davis reacted strongly to questions about allegedly avoiding elite fighters like Shakur Stevenson. He stated that public opinion holds little value, reminding everyone that fans quickly shift loyalty after one loss. Davis emphasized that his strategy is built on long-term career growth, financial security, and personal goals, not on chasing approval. His response highlights a business-minded approach, where brand reputation, market leverage, and investment in his legacy outweigh short-term criticism, ensuring control over his professional trajectory.
Gervonta, a lot of boxing fans aren't happy with the fact you've taken this fight rather than the road rematch, fights with the likes of Shakur, Devin Haney, Teofimo, etc. What do you make of that reaction? And can we still expect to see those fights?
Why should I care what they think? When y'all switch somebody can have a bad day and y'all switching on who y'all favorite fighter is or who this person is supposed to fight. Like y'all need to sit back and be fans and just enjoy the sport. Like y'all even talk about people's personal lives. Like why when it come to that?
Michael J. White shared his perspective on the debate, stressing that Jake Paul, despite his marketing power and digital media influence, cannot be recognized as a true boxing champion. He highlighted the financial difference between high-revenue exhibition fights and sanctioned championship contests approved by governing bodies. White's analysis reflects an industry-wide viewpoint that Paul's matches serve more as entertainment products than genuine sporting achievements, reinforcing skepticism about the investment value, long-term legitimacy, and overall monetization of these crossover events.
Do you think that Jake Paul could win a legitimate boxing title?
No, no, because he's so far behind someone of his equal age who's been doing it for a very long time. He started very late. That's why I applaud exactly what he's doing. I think he should be doing exactly what he's doing. If he fought a legitimate, top 10 cruiserweight, I will shut the f up. If he's able to fight an actual contender of the top 10, that would be astonishing if he can get to that point. If he beat anybody in the top 10, that would be, to me, the greatest thing he's ever accomplished.
Yeah, because historically he's fought old men.
I think he's done it the right way, because there's a possibility where a 50-year-old Anderson Silva might be able to beat him. Who thought he was going to beat Tyson? I really thought, oh, Tyson's just going to go to the body and just punish his body, because I thought that that's what would win him the thing, but he did not do that. I think it makes for a good matchup. He's made for great spectacle.
Daniel Cormier, a former champion and respected analyst, criticized the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight, labeling it uninspiring and low in entertainment value. He emphasized that Tank is not fighting for financial survival, making the matchup appear unnecessary from a business and competitive standpoint. By branding it dull, Cormier questioned its real purpose, suggesting the fight operates more as a digital marketing strategy, driving social media engagement, monetization, and brand growth, rather than elevating boxing's true competitive standards.
Wait, I thought it was 190. Dean. That's bad. Because you know what that tells me? That tells me that even he recognizes that he's too big for him. Yes. He recognizes that he's too big for him.
I'm wondering how this even came about. It can't be that Gervonta Davis needs money. That can't be the reason why he's taking this fight.
He's been a world champion so recently. How could he be broke?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is he doing this for money? And then why and how is even Jake Paul doing this when no one respects it? Like, I can't think of anybody that respects this.
But Jake Paul has been able to carve out and make his own lane in boxing, and I've never seen anything like it, bro. He literally, I mean, we don't know what weight class he fights in any situation. We just don't know. He kind of makes his own rules.
He makes his own rules.
And it seems like people are playing by those rules. I remember a couple weeks ago, the WBC and the Jose Suleiman was very upset that he wasn't going to be able to put the belt on the winner at Canelo versus Crawford. That's the thing that's happened since the beginning of the time. Those guys are very powerful in boxing. But with Zuffa boxing, it was almost like that power was getting stripped away. They were very disappointed. But how can you take those sanctioning organizations seriously when they are sanctioning this?
That's my point. That's my point. That's why I think that this whole thing that we have, this boxing and this MMA argument and Zuffa getting into boxing, our argument is misplaced because things like this should not be happening. And the fact that boxing is allowing this to happen is an embarrassment to the sport.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I talked about this before. Like, I didn't know why they were fighting because, I mean, Gervonta Davis's last fight was at 136 pounds.
Commentator Show Is the Adult emphasized that although the fight feels unconventional, audience curiosity will likely generate record-breaking revenue and global engagement. Tank's recent hints about possibly retiring have fueled speculation and market uncertainty, leaving fans questioning if the matchup will even happen. Meanwhile, his online clashes with Shakur Stevenson on digital platforms like X have intensified debate, adding brand value and monetization potential. This drama fuses entertainment with competition, creating a high-stakes event that blends audience anticipation, financial opportunity, and sporting unpredictability.
Do we think the fight is ridiculous between you and Jake Paul? Yes. Are we going to watch it? Yeah. Do we like it? Maybe. Maybe. And let me tell you why it's maybe, why it's not no, why it's not yes. It's maybe because many of us, we just don't believe it. We just don't believe the fight is real. We know it's an exhibition, but we just don't believe that you two are going to try to take each other's heads off. Other than that, it's kind of interesting. You have a 5'5" lightweight versus a heavyweight Jake Paul, who's really not a boxer with an amateur background and all that shit, but he's been knocking people out. It's kind of interesting if we know y'all were trying to knock each other's head off. And we don't know that because Mike Tyson did knock out Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Rock Logan Paul, and then kept him standing. That shit, we getting tired of that shit, right? We need confidence. Are you guys going to try to knock each other's heads off? Jake Paul, when you swing at Tank, are you going to try to hit him and knock that little man over the top rope into the damn fifth aisle? Are you going to try to hit him and make his ass evaporate? Or Tank, are you going to show the world that Jake Paul should not be in the square circle with a real boy? Are you going to try to knock his ass out, sleep him, drop him like you did Ryan Garcia, stop him the way you did Mario Barrios, knock him out like you did Leo Santa Cruz? Are we going to get a viral knockout? Are y'all going to try to stop each other?
Teofimo Lopez, a leading professional boxer, described the fight as an exhibition, stressing it should be seen as high-level entertainment rather than a legitimate sporting contest. His perspective highlights the clear difference between traditional championship bouts and crossover events designed for media impact, audience engagement, and global marketing appeal. Lopez framed the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis matchup as a financial spectacle aimed at maximizing revenue, digital visibility, and promotional value, instead of establishing true boxing dominance.
Great fight, great matchup. It's fun for the sport of boxing. It makes it fun, it makes it entertaining. That's what it's all about, you know, and may the best man win. It's an exhibition regardless, it doesn't count.
Doesn't count? Yeah. We need to see you and Tank though. Has to happen.
What happened?
It has to happen, you and Tank.
We'll see, man. It's up to the champ. He's a champ, right? He's a celebrity champ. Ooh.
Tim Bradley, a former world champion, stressed the financial, personal, and professional pressures Tank Davis faces behind the spotlight. He urged critics to evaluate the mental, physical, and economic toll before passing judgment. Bradley explained that Tank has dealt with major challenges recently, and non-stop scrutiny from media, analysts, and fans magnifies the situation. His insight highlights how fighters manage brand value, digital exposure, and career investment, reminding audiences that respectful discussion creates stronger market performance and long-term industry growth.
A Tank, you know what I mean? I was misinformed. You know, you got to know what somebody's going through, man, or have gone through, and where they've ended up. Now, you have to understand that. You got to understand their DNA, you know. And we as fans, we fail to realize that. We as commentators and fanboys and all that, like we all don't do that. We don't do our research. You know, you got to know about somebody's history. So, like, if you understand where Tank came from, if you understand his background, then you understand how he thinks and why he feels the way he feels. You know, you do. So, I mean, for instance, like his parents, right? His parents were drug addicts, in and out of the system, in and out of jail. You know, he lived with his grandmother. You know, like, you got to understand when he started boxing, why he started boxing. Understand that, you know, that what the influence that Calvin has had on his life, and how if their relationship isn't great, how that affects him. And this is not making any excuses, people. This isn't. I'm not making no excuses. I'm just giving you what I think, and I'm giving you the facts surrounding all of this. You know, I remember back in 2012, you know, I'm living right. I'm living civil. I'm taking care of my business. I feel like I'm doing everything right.
Analysts continue debating the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight, focusing on its financial upside and impact on boxing's credibility. While the matchup generates massive revenue, sponsorship deals, and digital engagement, critics argue it risks lowering competitive standards. Paul's marketing strategy, choosing high-profile opponents with clear size or skill gaps, creates viral attention but frustrates purists. His decision to face Tank Davis highlights this model, a spectacle designed to maximize viewership, media coverage, and advertising revenue. The weight difference adds intrigue, fueling speculation about Tank's adaptability and Paul's potential surprise factor. This approach illustrates boxing's shift toward entertainment economics, where branding, audience monetization, and digital visibility often outweigh tradition.
Why are you not fighting guys your own fucking size? Look at this, John. This is embarrassing. And not to mention, Georgia already said, no, you can't have this fight here. So they moved it somewhere else. Dave, do you know where they moved the fight? Can you look it up? Yeah. This is embarrassing. Look, he actually put his hands on his knees and he was still the same height, maybe a little bit taller than Gervonta Davis. I mean, I'm all in on Gervonta. I want Gervonta to win this fight. I want him to hit. I mean, I'm not saying he can knock him out, but I think if he hits him to the body a couple times, John, he may be able to catch him. A lazy jab or something, you know, he might be able to pop him to the body and get him good. I'm hoping. Jake Paul down with a body shot.
Oh man.
Oh geez.
Could you imagine?
I would it'd be great.
It's a win right there.
It'd be great.
Analysts noted that during the face-off, Tank looked visibly smaller compared to Jake Paul, creating a striking image that some labeled embarrassing. However, experts stress that visual perception doesn't equal performance value. Tank's proven skill set, elite speed, and championship-level experience give him a competitive advantage that Jake cannot easily monetize or replicate. His agility, precision, and technical execution reinforce his market dominance in the ring, proving that strategic performance, not promotional optics, ultimately drives results, credibility, and lasting audience engagement in boxing.
And I think that the one thing that Jake Paul is really going to have to try to figure out in this fight is, how do I catch this little son of a bitch? Because he's fast. And, you know, Gervonta, I would, you know, I'm not telling Gervonta Davis to, you know, cut down and weight like he normally does. Just get in shape. Whatever you weigh, you weigh. Don't try to add weight. There's not enough time for you to add good weight that's not going to make you tighter and anything like that. So just come in at your normal, walk around, good weight. You've been training hard, whatever it is, because they've said 195 is the max that.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned. Until next time.